Gandhian studies. It is under his dynamic vision this postgraduate program in police studies was visualized and given a concrete shape. I'll request Professor Naresh Dadhich to give his presidential remarks.
His Excellency, Governor of the State, Chancellor of Vardhaman Mahaveer Open University, Shri Shivrajji Patil Sahib, Shri M.L. Kumaut Sahib, Shri Harish Ji Meena Sahib, Shri S. Subramaniam Sahib, participants of this one-day national seminar and workshop, teachers and non-teachers, staff of my university, ladies and gentlemen. This new course is a part of the series of our ventures into new area of knowledge. As all of us are aware, that the university is the creator and disseminator of knowledge. Like police is a very fortified force, I can assure you that university is also very fortified. It is very difficult for a new idea to enter into a university, because university believes that when an idea which is conceptualized as a part of knowledge remains in the society for many years, then only a university will accept that idea worth to be taught. Once Mao Zedong was asked, what do you think about the impact of French Revolution? He said, well, it is just 175 years. We cannot evaluate it. It requires 500 years at least. Then you ask me, what is the impact of French Revolution? The same goes with the knowledge and ideas. A university don, a university dean and professor will ask this question that, well, you are introducing police studies in university, let there be a police studies in the society in various form for 500 years, then only university will open its door for this new thing. Because knowledge, how we will define knowledge? Traditionally, knowledge has two forms. One, what we call scientific knowledge, and second, what is called narrative knowledge. In the last 2000 years of history, which is written history, we see that scientific knowledge has dominated universities all over the world. It all started with Aristotle, who first propagated this idea and institutionalized it in form of a university, that human reason is the key to all mysteries of universe. And human reason and rationality is omnipotent in the sense that it is capable of knowing the world and the nature. Any knowledge which comes out of this assumption is called scientific knowledge, which is based on human reason, which is based on human rationality. And only that will be entertained in a university. This idea again got boosted in Enlightenment project in the 18th century. And now it is called, what Habermas, the famous German philosopher, has said, it is an Enlightenment project which is still incomplete, which means that still human reason has not have total control over nature. This Enlightenment idea that human reason is the basis of knowledge is dominant in all the universities, because universities as an institution is based on reason, is based on human reason. Knowledge, when it is defined in this context, has got three stages as conceptualized by Habermas. The lowest is the technique of knowledge, then the instrumentality of knowledge, and then the emancipatory aspect of knowledge. Human reason first creates a methodology based on science, or which is called scientific method. They harness the scientific method, they make it as objective as it is possible, and then through this objective method, they try to study nature. That is the first stage of knowledge. Then the second stage comes when they study nature, then they start using nature for selfish interest, for human interest, for enhancing human interest. That is what, in another anthropological sense, is called anthropomorphic way of thinking, where human beings are considered at the center of universe, because it is thought that the universe is created for human beings, and human beings have got every right to exploit it for enhancing its own interest. So that is the second stage of knowledge, which is called instrumentality. And the third stage is, which is called emancipatory, which means that once we have total control over nature, then we can leave it behind and we can create new nature, or we can go beyond that. Any knowledge which is not just examined on these three criteria is not entertainable in a university, because science has dominated for so many years in the universities. So any idea, which means that any idea which does not contribute in the emancipatory aspect of human being is not considered worth enough to be taught in universities, whether that idea belongs to science or belongs to art or to philosophy. In this case, but this situation is now changing. This is for the last 2000 years this has happened, from Aristotle to 1970s. This is the situation of universities, where new ideas are very difficult to enter. We know many examples even in our ancient India also, where a student wants to learn and goes to a ashram, he is not allowed to enter a ashram. He will be asked, who was your teacher? Who has taught you? First demonstrate your knowledge, then only I will allow you in my ashram. So it is a close-knit institutional society which is called university, where new ideas are very difficult to enter, and this is what is happening for the last 2000 years. But this is now changing. In 1979, one of the philosophers called Lyotard, he presented a report on the status of knowledge in highly developed society to Canadian government. In that report, he indicated that now we are living in a new situation. We are living in new condition, in which he called postmodern conditions. Now he says that this contrast between scientific knowledge, which is based on the scientific method, which has dominated universities for so many years, and whose aim and objective was to emancipate human beings, is no longer a very valid idea within the universities or outside the universities especially. Now the second form, that is called narrative knowledge, is being accepted all over the world. What is narrative knowledge? It is assumed, it is there in the society, but it was never given consideration by the universities because it is not scientific based. Because in science it is believed that we have some objectivity by which we can know everything, and we can go to the precise last nuances, we can know about that also. So until unless the knowledge is tested on that criteria, the university will not entertain that. But Lyotard argued out that this situation is changing because of the various development. One of the major development from a layman's point of view was the development of modern physics, where a new concept, quanta, came into existence. In 1920s and 30s, a new concept was emerged, and when the scientists were trying to locate an electron, the velocity of electron or velocity of proton, they were surprised to know that it is almost impossible to know the position and velocity of electron within an atom. You cannot know this because he changes his position, which is they call the new concept, which is called quanta, which has got both qualities of a particle and qualities of wave also. Which means that when science fails even to locate the position and the velocity of a particular particle in an atom, how can we say that science will unfold all the mysteries of this universe, all the mysteries of this nature? Gradually this idea of physics spread in social sciences also. And now, after 1970s, it is now generally accepted in social sciences that scientific knowledge is not the only knowledge. And there is another form which is called narrative knowledge. It should be studied in the universities. And this idea is germinated in many Western countries and now catching up.